What's up, guys? Iceman here. So there's been a so-called leak, okay? Hypothetically, for this upcoming BlizzCon in terms of Diablo information. A lot of you guys probably already heard of this shit, but I decided to make a video anyway. So last year, there was this guy on Twitter, right, who was actually correct in one of his theories in claiming that there was a leak that he attained for an Overwatch game. And I think it was for the character that was released last year or whatnot. And he was right about it. But the thing is, I don't know if he was wrong about other things. You know, I didn't take the time to look through his Twitter or to do any research on maybe he got 1,000 things wrong and one damn thing right. But maybe that's not the case. But nonetheless, check this out. Here's what he said, all right, for BlizzCon. Pretty damn simple. He said, for anyone who cares, Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 Remastered will also be announced. BlizzCon 2019. And then, to confirm that it's not just baseless, this information that he attained from somewhere, he says, for the people saying this is all fake and I just want to mess with everyone or do this for attention, as I have said before, the source of the leaks this year is the same one that gave me all the details on last year's BlizzCon. So, yeah, got it from the same source, right? And what's interesting is I listened to some audio from David Brevik. This happened several months ago. I heard this stuff where he was going on about a remaster for Diablo 2 and how difficult that might be. Oh, shit. Am I recording? Yeah, how it's oh shit. Okay, I do have noise. I didn't realize. Thought my audio might be off. But I talked about this a little bit in the last video I made, how the art direction in Diablo 2 was very unique and folks made games different back in the day. And these characters are based off of sprites, all right? So David Brevik talked about how the little animations and stuff are all based on those frame rates. And he said that's pretty damn fundamental to the game mechanics and the gameplay, which is true, obviously. And he's the one who made the damn game, right? A few others, I think, a small group of people made Diablo 2, to my understanding, comparatively to what is seen today in, you know, AAA games or whatever, and their design. But yeah, there's a lot of little subtle details of Diablo 2 that people really appreciate, especially those who are, you know, hardcore in-depth players. You have to look up the frame rates and shit for attack speed and for cast rates. And all has to do with how things sync together, I think is what he was going on about. So he was saying how it's going to be a damn difficult task because today, instead of using sprites and just backdrops that are art, it's all 3D shit on a 3D grid is how games are generally made. Unless if they make Diablo 2 Remastered, if there is one, maybe they'll go back to the roots. That'd probably be a very costly task. But I think that would be the most toadish way to go. But that's probably asking for too much, right? So the chances are, if there is this game coming up, it's probably going to be all 3D based, 3D models and shit, and 3D backgrounds on some 3D grid. And they're just going to have to try to come close to how the frames and shit worked in Diablo 2 if you want it to feel the same way Diablo 2 feels, which I think is what a lot of us want. He also mentioned how, because it's a 4:3 ratio, how if you make it like a widescreen, you know, you basically, you get the left and right parts of the screen with more area coverage. There's going to be enemies out there. And the game utilizes a 4:3 ratio because you wouldn't aggravate so many damn enemies. So how are they going to deal with that? Are they going to have less enemies on screen at a time to make up for the newer enemies you're then going to see because the screen's wider? Because for those who've experienced the gameplay of Diablo 2 HD, some mod I think that fans made, where it is widescreen, you just see the enemies on the other parts of the screen that you can't see now. They're just kind of hanging out until you get to them. So that's going to be something that's going to have to be addressed as well. But I always thought it'd be most toadish if you could actually get a Diablo 2 widescreen version. So, but of course, we don't know if any of this shit's true or not. But yeah, I kind of hope it is. You know, I think that would be epic if Diablo 2 Remastered were announced along with Diablo 4. And I believe the anniversary, the 20-year anniversary for Diablo 2 is this upcoming June. So maybe if we're lucky, they'll even have it released around that time, which I wouldn't think would be too far-fetched. Didn't they release that World of Warcraft, or not World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3 Reforged? They announced that at BlizzCon, and I think within the next year it was released. So maybe we'll get some shit like that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think these leaks are legit? Especially those of you who looked into it more than I have. Like I said, I don't know if this guy's been wrong a lot or not. But check out his Twitter and do some research on his past theories and so-called leaks. And let me know what you find in the comments below. And what do you hope to see in a Diablo 2 Remastered? Do you hope it's going to be a remake of the game? Or a simply high-definition version of the game? And do you hope that there will be any added content? I think it's going to be hard to compete because for a lot of us who are familiar with Diablo 2 and playing it in modern times, a lot of us are using mods like Path of Diablo, where you get this huge inventory and you can corrupt or slam items with Orbs of Corruption and have additional mods added to them, or sockets. So it really adds to the itemization, I think, these things. And these, of course, aren't in the regular D2. So are we going to want to go back to play the regular D2 without the huge stash and the huge inventory and the section for charms, so you don't have to fill up your inventory with charms? But it seems like these could be easily added, but are people going to be okay with that? I'd be okay with that. And are they going to get blamed on stealing shit from these modders? But I don't think that would matter, right? Because Blizzard owns the content. And Path of Diablo on its own is actually inspired, I think, by Path of Exile. I think they had similar Orbs of Corruption, didn't they? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I thought that's where those things came from. Where you'd find them and they'd modify your items and you couldn't go back. And they had positive effects, but in some cases detrimental effects. And it was the risk and gamble you took. You know, so I think that's a toadish addition for Diablo 2. So I hope that if they do remaster it, there are some additions and some endgame content. Like how in Path of Diablo you have the tier 1 to 4 right now, and they're going to add a tier 5 eventually. Is one hypothesis. Well, I don't think that's exactly confirmed, but if they did, you know, it's going to add to the longevity of the experience. So it seems simple enough to me, though, if they do remake Diablo 2 or remaster it, they got to add some endgame content, right? It would especially be told if they, say, released it, and then, like, 6 months after it was released, they announced an expansion that had endgame content that really challenged your characters. Just like how Path of Diablo does. But let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments below. And do you think it's, do you think there's a good chance one of these two things are going to be announced, or both, being Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 remastered or remake? Comment below your thoughts on the matter. Like this video. Become a patron if you want. Link in the description below. Peace be with you.